What's something actually positive that's happening in 2020? My suspicious mammography turned out not being breast cancer. My brain tumor is benign and doesn't need treatment or surgery. Americans just sent a few people on their way to the ISS. That's a good thing. Johnny Depp is exposing Amber Heard for the monster she is. I haven't self-harmed at all this year, smiley face. There's a 90% drop in babies being born prematurely in Denmark due to the COVID-19 lockdown. No one knows the exact mechanisms behind the decline, but it's good news. We'll take it. I'm moving out of my parents' house to my own apartment on Monday, smiley face. Congrats. That's a great next step. A word of advice. When I first moved out, I made sure I had all my basics. Plates, cookware, toilet scrubber, all that kind of stuff. My first night in my new place, I got everything settled and about to make dinner. I go to open my can of green beans and realize my fatal flaw. The damn can opener. Never forget to buy a can opener. My depression has started to get better since I've cut out a lot of toxic people. Sometimes I do start to slip, but I'm feeling much more better than I did in 2019. New job that's just about doubled my salary. Air quality has improved. So do water in rivers, seas, oceans. Most who are reading this are alive. I'm really curious about the people who are reading this that aren't alive. Maybe it's a Schrodinger's box thing. We're all both alive and dead until our parents actually come down to the basement to check on us. Costa Rica legalized same-sex marriage. With everyone working at home, telecommuting opportunities are more available for people with disabilities. I decided to go back to school at age 34. I start in July, smiley face. Animal shelters are mostly empty, so all animals are getting some love and comfort. Worried about what will happen to them once quarantine is lifted. People might not be able to keep them and shelters will be full again. At least they were getting a nice vacation. When I worked at the animal shelter, we love to get foster parents take dogs, even for just a weekend. Shelters are stressful, even nice ones, because they can be noisy and small, and we have to be able to clean everything very easily. That means mostly plastics and cement. But at people's homes, the pets get to enjoy couches and share beds and learn how to use carpeted stairs and get used to blender noises. The foster parents can give the shelter useful information about how the pets deal with children, cats, dogs, as well as other behavioral quirks. Some dogs, for example, are anxious at a shelter and calm down a lot in a home. As long as the pets aren't neglected or abused, I'd be happy for them to have a good few months even if they come back. My son was born on the 3rd of May. Happiest day of my life. This year marks 4 years since I've started recovering from my eating disorder. I'm getting married, but that's more of a personal thing. Same here. Early this year a second person was cured of HIV, which is pretty amazing. It's almost as if we completed level 1, HIV, and now we're on level 2, COVID-19. People finally questioning the government more after their handling on the coronavirus. Are you a Chinese flag? Here in the UK I've noticed more people are walking and cycling. Hopefully this will continue to be the case when things eventually get back to normal. I am not pregnant! Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Me neither, but then again I'm a 77-year-old male. And I am. Congrats to us both, smiley face. Season 7 of the Clone Wars. Ah, a fellow person of culture. Due to fewer people being outside and almost no factories being open, pollution is going down significantly. Only temporarily, they're saying in China now it's getting worse than it's ever been. Ooh, that sucks. My daughter graduated from college and my son graduated from high school. The Dragon launched today. That was pretty epic. Watching American space exploration history get a reset. American space exploration never stopped. Launching humans from American soil did. Tons of satellites, probes, rovers, etc. are developed by NASA and launched by contractors every year. that still counts as American space exploration. Shaping up to be a damn fine year in video gaming. Already had some real gems in Doom, Animal Crossing, FF7 Remake. We have Last of Us 2, Ghosts of Tsushima, Cyberpunk among other promising upcoming games. And next-gen console release possibly for the holidays. The real world is shitty. Come play some games this year. Don't forget the SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom remaster. Toyota-thon at your local Toyota dealers. This changes my entire outlook on 2020. My birthday party was cancelled due to COVID-19. And I was really bummed out about it. It was supposed to be scheduled on my birthday, and when it was cancelled, I found myself not really looking forward to my birthday. On my birthday, I was pretty sad because I was missing my friends a lot. But then my mom sent me to the mailbox, and 5 of my friends surprised me with a drive-by party and wished me a happy birthday, as well as bringing me gifts, which were amazing, and played Dancing Queen since I was turning 17. I love them so much. TikTok rating dropped to 1.2 stars. Successful SpaceX launch into orbit. People around the world are waking the fuck up. Not me, it's bedtime here. I've lost 40 pounds, gotten a promotion and a raise, saved a family from CO poisoning, and bought a house all in the last year. Now working with my employer to help feed the refugees in Camp Rhino after the UN food deliveries got cut. This is kind of personal, but my relationship with my mother has gotten to the best point it has ever been to in years. It's still kind of a shock every time she is nice to me. I used quarantine very constructively and started working out. I'm skinny but good looking and tall. Getting a little muscular will really help me. Working on my programming, finding an interest in music, and working on my applications for unis. I just graduated university and am now completely financially independent. The pandemic has slowed the process of finding a full-time job, but it hasn't stopped me from graduating. Anyone else scrolling through the comments because they can't think of a reason themselves. Too true for comfort. I got a girlfriend. More family dinners. Instead of rushing from activity to activity, we have had the time to eat and talk together. I graduated college with my chemistry degree. I graduated with a minor in chemistry. I don't feel like I know anything about chemistry at all. In fact, I may be more confused than when I started. COVID may have shown many employers that work from home is an option that might actually improve the company's bottom line. I think there's a strong chance my company will let some employees to continue to work from home, even after the crisis ends. Greater than COVID may have shown many employers that work from home is an option that might actually improve. Yes, no longer having to commute every day to work and wasting so much time. Hopefully working from home will become a permanent option. I've passed 2 rounds of my dissertation with no revisions. Revisions will occur eventually, but that raises my confidence a lot. People have time for self-care and exercise. Tony Hawk's Pro Skate 1 and 2 Remastered is set to release in September. To me, that's really something I'm looking forward to because those games were a big part of my childhood. It's almost 1/2 over. In a generous response to a need highlighted by COVID-19, a local hospital has just received a very generous bequest from a wealthy family to build an expansive new intensive care unit. Trump's failing America so bad there's absolutely zero chance he ever gets elected again. LMAO, so many upset Trumpers. Where are you getting this absolute zero chance? I wish I shared your optimism, but his chances are far greater than zero. Unfortunately, he could call George Floyd the N-word on live TV and still have supporters. IDK. I feel like he can still win. Unfortunately, what I see with his supporters is everything is the Democrats' fault. No matter how bad Trump fucks up, all he has to do is point his finger at the Dems and his supporters will believe it without questioning anything. He's doing it right now with the whole COVID economy situation. care to share what makes you think he can't win in November? I can sure use a little something to make me feel optimistic right now. Ignore this Trumper. Trump has zero chance. America woke up. You massively underestimate how stupid the average American is. People were saying the same in 2016. Don't just hope or expect. If you hate him, make sure you vote and everyone you know who is against him votes as well. There's a nationwide mass protest against the state violence among other things. How is burning down public and private property a positive thing? The U.S. state has been murdering Americans for decades. People are fighting back. That's a good thing. The individuals who create police training programs are obviously not listening. What else is supposed to get them to listen? These riots are a good thing. I feel like people are realizing that they're not appreciating the little things in life. So maybe just a new mindset will affect a majority of people. I traveled abroad and rode on an airplane for the first time at the beginning of the year. I went to Ethiopia on a missions trip. Hands down the best thing I've ever done. Been making more money, so been able to help my mom and sister a little more. Mandalorian Season 2 is coming out. Announcements for Percy Jackson TV show. Having a baby, and the lockdown meant I could have a peaceful first trimester at home instead of having to run to the bathroom every 30 minutes to pee and puke at the office. Terraria 1.4? I mean, the significance can be debated, but I certainly rate it. Been great fun getting back into the game again. A lot of people haven't gotten sick. Possibly a lot of people's lives were saved from events out of their control by staying home. Families have gotten to spend more time together and have gotten closer. Pets have gotten more attention and love at home. Seeing China's true colors. Pollution is down. I got an A on my trigonometry final exam this year. I have always struggled with the class, so it feels really good to get a good score on my last test of the semester. Made a lot of progress in my project and a lot of money as well. I've been laid off since March, but I finally picked up a freelance gig. I'm cooking my own meals. The protests against police violence. The protesters are kind of violent, NGL. It's more of rioting and looting. I have seen more and more arguments for white rights, men's rights, and anti-quarantine lately. It's been overwhelming. It feels weird and validating to see a protest I agree with the message of. I was starting to feel like my opinion wasn't held by many. But in Atlanta, the police said the protesters outnumbered them 4-1. Netflix is gonna stream the old TMNT live-action movies on Monday. Well, I know what I'll be watching on Monday. Midget porn. Nah, save that for hump day. I usually watch the unrated version of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I recommend, if you like those, to check out the 2003 and 2012 TV series of TMNT. I'll say Rise of the TMNT. But be warned, Splinter in it is not good. Especially compared to the 2012 series version. Attack on Titan Season 4 smiley face. My boyfriend and I are moving in together after 2 years. I'm so excited as it's my first time moving out. But not his. For me, that's my EP, I guess. Bit actually, no. I wrote an EP album literally on my bed on my quarantine. And it was on review for almost 2 months. After that, my album dropped out at 29. Recently, I was so happy and excited, and while I was posting about it on my IG, my sister called me and crying said that our grandfather died. So yeah, I probably will never forget this date. Bruh, that's not positive at all. Do you have a link? I love finding new music. The environment is doing so much better due to the coronavirus restrictions. You can see fish in the canals of Venice. The smog over China has lifted. The earth is healing. Hopefully we remember this and do better for our planet in the future. It's the first year in at least 10 that I have felt self-confident for more than a month. That's great! Exclamation mark. WWIII is not the top trending disaster on Twitter. NASA and SpaceX successfully sent 2 astronauts into space to go to the ISS. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.